Botswana, a dry land where the sun and wind scorch the ground every day. Between the bush fields and low thorn trees, the strong and the weak are always tied in a cycle of life and death. Will the weak, who seem to only know how to run away, or can they turn the game around with a fatal counterattack? Wild Botswana. Giraffe counterattacks with a death kick to a lion. The red sun gradually rises from the horizon. The burning yellow light spread across the Botswana savanna. Dry winds sweep through the waist-high grass, stirring up hazy dust, making the space seem to be covered with a thin, opaque curtain. In this harsh natural place, every moment contains a tragedy of survival, where the strong and the weak are tied in a fierce cycle of life and death. From afar, a giant figure gradually appeared in the hazy mist, the giraffe, the gentle giant of the Botswana savanna. Standing more than 5 meters tall, its long neck stretched up like a living watchtower, allowing it to observe the entire vast grassland. Its fur was mottled with brown-yellow patches in a net shape, helping it blend in with the dry acacia tree trunks. Its large, jet-black eyes shone with vigilance, always looking for signs of danger. Its long legs seemed slender, but contained terrible power. A single kick could crush a lion's skull or instantly break a predator's chest. As it walked leisurely, each stride was like a knife slashing the dry ground. But in that calmness, there was still a hidden uneasiness, because this giant always knew that it was never allowed to let its guard down. In the thick layer of yellow grass, a shadow crept silently away. The lioness's golden eyes flashed in the morning sunlight, fixed on the giant giraffe's long legs. The muscles under the tan skin tensed with each beat, the body pressed close to the ground like an arrow ready to explode. Each of its steps was so light that it almost disappeared into the sound of the wind, but each step exuded a cold death. And then, the confrontation took place fiercely on the savanna. giraffe seized the chance to survive. It quickly advanced into the vast open grassland, where its panoramic view made it no longer afraid of being ambushed. The seemingly weak one had turned into a grim reaper with the deadly weapon hidden in its legs. The sun gradually rose, casting a giant shadow striding in the wild savanna. In Botswana, life was never easy. Even a gentle giant was forced to fight to survive. Escaping the death trap, the giraffe continues its original journey. Maintaining life and passing on its lineage. During the breeding season, males will enter necking matches, swinging their long necks like giant clubs, hitting their opponents to compete for the right to mate. The sound of collisions echoes throughout the savanna, sometimes ending in knockdowns that force the loser to retreat in humiliation. When victorious, the dominant male will approach the female in heat. The mating process is short, but plays a vital role in maintaining the herd. After about 15 months of pregnancy, one of the longest periods in the mammal world, the female giraffe will give birth to a baby in the middle of the empty savanna. What is special is that when a baby giraffe is born, it falls from a height of nearly 2 meters to the ground. The first fall in life is a harsh survival challenge. But after just a few hours, it can stand up, limping after its mother to avoid predators. In Africa, where every day is a battle, the birth of a baby giraffe is not only the beginning of a new life, but also a testament to the endurance of this giant species to overcome all dangers. As the late afternoon sun fades, the Botswana savanna is bathed in a magical golden hue. Amidst the dense bushes and scattered rocks, a small but alert figure emerges. Not a giant, nor a powerful predator, but it possesses special agility and intelligence to survive. That is the Cape fox, a silent resident of the South African savanna. The Cape fox, also known as the little silver fox, is the only fox species living in southern Africa. Weighing only 3 to 5 kilograms and measuring about 55 centimeters in length, they are one of the smallest members of the canid family. The Cape fox's fur is a distinctive silvery gray, with a lighter underbelly, while its muzzle, ears, and legs have a striking reddish-brown tone. Their large, upright ears not only help them hear the tiny sounds of insects on the ground, but also dissipate heat effectively in the hot, dry climate of deserts and steppes. The Cape fox is omnivorous, but extremely agile. They hunt insects, small rodents, birds, reptiles, and even berries and fruits when necessary. With the ability to sprint and leap like lightning, a Cape fox can snatch a grasshopper in midair or take down a mouse hiding in thick grass in the blink of an eye. Cape foxes are usually nocturnal, and their bright, sparkling eyes have the ability to see in the dark many times better than humans, making them quiet and effective hunters. During the breeding season, Cape fox pairs are usually monogamous. After mating, the female fox is pregnant for about 6 to 8 weeks and then gives birth to 3 or 5 young in a discreet underground burrow. The young are born blind and weak. But after just 1 month, they begin to hunt with their parents. Both parents care for their young, providing them with food and teaching them survival skills. Despite their cleverness, the Cape fox still faces many natural enemies. Large birds of prey such as eagles and owls, or ground predators such as chacals, hyenas, and even caracals can threaten their lives, especially the young. In the harsh cycle of survival, the Cape fox is a symbol of agility and adaptation, proving that not only strength, but also intelligence and agility are the keys to survival in the wild. In another corner of the Botswana savanna, the scene takes on a completely different hue. Thorn bushes grow densely on low hillsides, interspersed with jagged rocks baked by the scorching sun. The air here is thick with heat, dry winds swirling fine dust floating in the air. It is in this harsh picture that a new character of the vortex of survival is about to reveal itself, a silent but powerful predator. Appearing among the thorny bushes and hot rocks, Caracal, the powerful wild cat of Africa, steps out with graceful steps. With a muscular body about 50 centimeters tall, weighing from 12 to 20 kg. Caracal exudes flexibility and hidden strength. Its smooth, golden-brown fur, like desert sand, helps it blend into the arid landscape, while its erect ears, with characteristic pointed black tufts, become an unmistakable mark. Its sharp, copper-gold eyes reflect the absolute concentration of a natural-born predator. Caracal is famous for its extraordinary jumping ability, being able to leap straight up more than 3 meters to pounce on a flying bird. With sharp claws and explosive speed, it easily took down everything from rabbits, birds, rodents to prey twice its size. In the sweltering sunlight, flocks of small birds gathered above, busy looking for food under the sparse grass. None of them knew that. Just a few meters away, a predator was crouching in the thorn bushes, each muscle tensed like a bowstring waiting to burst. Caracal's ears twitched slightly, catching every sound. His golden eyes flashed with cold light, focused on the target. He moved slowly, his soft feet not making even a sound. The air thickened in the moment of waiting. Then suddenly, Caracal jumped up. The sound of wings flapping in panic resounded. The whole flock of birds flew away. But in Caracal's claws, the prey was struggling helplessly. With a neat bite to the neck, Caracal ended the bird's fate in a split second, demonstrating its lightning-fast and brutally accurate hunting ability. In the harsh world of the savannah, Caracal does not need overwhelming strength like a lion, nor does it rely on a pack like a hyena. What helps it survive is silence, explosive speed, and cold precision. The new dawn broke. The golden light covered the Botswana savanna, awakening the vast space. The scene seemed to awaken after the quiet night. opening up an endless cycle of survival, where dramatic stories were waiting to be written. In the middle of the endless grasslands of Botswana, a slender but powerful figure appeared, the fastest runner on the planet, the cheetah. With a slim body, long legs, and a spring-like spine, the cheetah can reach speeds of over 100 km/h in just a few seconds, something no other land animal can match. Its golden fur is dotted with round black spots, helping it blend perfectly into the weeds. Its black-rimmed eyes extend down the sides of its muzzle like teardrops, not only enhancing its vision when hunting, but also reducing glare in harsh sunlight. Unlike lions or leopards, cheetahs are solitary hunters. They rely on explosive speed and absolute precision, rather than strength, to bring down their prey. Their strategy is to approach their prey silently, close the distance, and then suddenly rush out in a lightning-fast sprint. In just a few seconds, a small antelope or hare will be knocked down by a powerful slap from its front paws. On the open grassland, a herd of impalas were busy grazing, completely unaware of the danger approaching every second. The cheetah crouched down, its lean, muscular shoulders heaving with each rapid breath. Its sharp eyes locked on a calves that had lost its rhythm at the edge of the herd. The air was as tense as a string. Then, in a flash, it charged out. In just a breath, the cheetah's jaws had tightened around its prey's throat, ending the short but brutal chase. On the steppe, victory came as quickly as the wind, but was also exchanged for exhaustion. The cheetah panted, its heart pounding, lying flat on the grass, recovering from the sprint that seemed to tear its body apart. On the vast steppe, the cheetah possessed the only but ultimate weapon, speed, turning each sprint into a death sentence for the weak. In the fierce cycle of survival, it is not strength, but agility and specialized abilities that help this super speed species assert its position. In a place where the sun burns the ground, the strong are not necessarily invincible, and the small are not necessarily weak. Each species has its own weapons, all blending together, creating a vivid and fierce picture of African nature. The cycle of day and night closes, but the survival stories here will never stop. In your opinion, what helps giraffes win life? Strength, vigilance, or luck? Leave your thoughts below the video's comment section. And don't forget to ring the bell and subscribe so you don't miss the next wildlife survival series. Under the dark blue water of the Amazon is a world where every movement can lead to death. Where giant shadows always lurk, there is a small, but not weak animal. They are the ones who turn the black water into their own territory. Amazon giant otter, the ghost of the black water hunting. Dawn slides down the Amazon like a thin golden silk strip, weaving through the giant treetops that are dozens of meters high. The steam from the forest floor rises into white clouds, floating between the tree trunks, creating a world that is both magical and dangerous to the point of suffocation. Under the feet of the ancient tree roots that twist like giant pythons, the black river surface stretches endlessly. The Amazon water is not clear. It is dark brown and dark blue, reflecting the shadows of the trees like a mirror covered in smoke. Every gentle breeze that blows makes the water surface vibrate, making the dark shadows at the bottom seem to move. The chirping of insects, the distant howling of monkeys, the long-ranged cries of toucans, all sounded like the sounds that signaled the awakening of the forest. A little further away, the water was eerily still. Not a single wave, not a ripple, just the cold silence typical of the Amazon, where any small movement could be a sign of a lurking caiman. From among the dense layer of duckweed drifting slowly along the water, a series of high-pitched whistles rang out, tearing the silence of the Amazon. Each otter has a unique patch of white fur on its neck, like a natural fingerprint to distinguish individuals within the pack. Its long whiskers are so sensitive that even the slightest movement underwater is enough to help it locate its prey. Revealing shallow waters where schools of pacu fish are laying eggs and gathering in dense layers, an ideal food source for all kinds of underwater predators. Small, dark, damp cave, the otters have 2 newborn cubs that need to be raised and protected. They chose this place as their A black shadow, nearly 4 meters long, slowly rose up. Its yellow eyes opened like 2 smoldering flames. But the otter was not a weak prey. They were masters of coordination. The whole pack immediately surrounded, each one attacking a different weak point. The battle broke out on the river surface. The last caiman was seriously injured, thrashed about one last time, then retreated into the darkness. The pack of otters emerged at the same time, panting heavily but still alert. The river surface gradually calmed down, but the battlefield just now still echoed in every ripple. The black river surface gradually returned to its original calm. Even though they had just experienced imminent danger, they did not have time to rest for long. In shallow water, otters begin to show the most important behaviors of the species, searching for food and maintaining the rhythm of life of the herd. A few adults dive first, disappearing under the dense layer of duckweed. The otter family possesses extremely sensitive long whiskers, which act as living sensors. With just a small flow, a slight flick of a pacu or catfish determine the location of prey, even though the Amazon water is murky and the bottom cannot be seen. Others do not dive deep but swim close to the surface, forming a guard ring. This is the social characteristic of giant otters. All actions are carried out in groups, whether hunting, moving, or guarding. They constantly emit small whistles and creaks to keep in touch. No sound is superfluous. Each sound has a meaning, location, danger, or simply, I am here. A male otter emerged first, a large pacu fish clutched in his jaws. He did not eat, but swam straight back to the mound where the cubs were waiting. High above, among the layers of dew-drenched leaves, a toucan suddenly landed on a curved branch that crossed the river. The toucan on that high branch was more than just a brilliant streak of color against the dense green of the Amazon. It was a symbol of the tropical rainforest, a creature whose every detail of its body was so strangely polished by nature that it seemed unreal. Its smooth black feathers were like polished coal, contrasting sharply with its bright yellow chest. But what made the toucan unmistakable was its giant beak, nearly half its body long, with orange gradually turning to red and green, creating a vivid color range like a lantern hanging in the forest canopy. Although large, the beak was very light thanks to its hollow structure, consisting of countless layers of tiny honeycombs inside. Thanks to that, the toucan could reach out to pick fruit, groom its feathers, or regulate its body temperature without feeling heavy. For it, the beak is a living radiator, helping the bird avoid overheating in the hot Amazon weather. Small but sharp eyes, framed by pale blue skin, constantly watch for any movement below. The toucan is an extremely alert creature. At the slightest noise or a sudden change in color of the water, it will immediately startle, flap its wings, and shoot through the leaves like an orange lightning bolt. It tilts its head, using its long beak to lightly tap the tree trunk. It is a typical communication behavior, announcing its territory, calling for a mate, or simply signaling to its flock nearby. The sound echoes through the forest, dry, clear, and strangely distant, like the sound of wood hitting metal. The toucan's food is mainly fruit, especially soft, ripe fruit. But they are also not afraid to eat insects, bird eggs, and even small lizards if they come across them. As the sunlight filtered through the canopy, its beak reflected a brilliant light, like a small piece of the sun. The toucan stood still on a branch, looking down at the otters, resting below. In that moment, it seemed that the Amazon was so peaceful that both toucan and otters breathed together, a fragile balance of color, sound, and life. The toucan let out its characteristic call, hoarse but resonant, as if reminding that while the underwater world was always full of danger, up above, the Amazon was still blooming with its most brilliant colors. Beneath the canopy where the toucan had just called out, the otters were still scattered around the small mound of earth, completely relaxed. In the distance, a school of small fish swam in a silvery stream under the duckweed. A young otter suddenly noticed, its ears pricked up, its eyes wide open. It plunged into the water, creating a soft wave, much lighter than the tense movement of fighting. It was a swim of joy, a simple act of play that only truly safe moments could appear. Under the bright sunlight, the giant otters came alive in a very different way, no longer fierce warriors facing enemies, but a real family who knew how to care, share, and enjoy together every few seconds of peace that the Amazon gave. But for otters, peace is never forever. The dark Amazon water always hides something, and they know, at any moment, the calm water surface can crack again. Watch the next episode so you don't miss the next survival moment. And don't forget to ring the bell and subscribe so you don't miss the next wildlife survival series. The surface of the Mara River suddenly erupted, shattering the silence with a terrifying snap. Desperate struggles mingled with the murky red water, signaling that the fool had fallen into the clutches of ancient predators, and death was calling. trap. The cross of the river of death. The Mara River meandered like a giant snake through the heart of Masai Mara, carrying its muddy, slow-flowing waters with calculated intent. Viewed from above, the water's surface was as calm as a giant mirror, but it was a mirror concealing nature's most terrifying secrets. There were no birdsong, no wind whistling through the acacia trees, only the rhythmic lapping of water against the rocky banks. Suddenly, a few tiny bubbles rose from the riverbed, then quickly vanished. Not all traps are visible. Some of the most insidious ones lie silently, waiting for you to fall into them. At the riverbank, the heavy hooves of the Cape buffaloes hesitated. The stillness of the river now offered no sense of peace, but rather a tense, breathless silence, as if the very space itself were awaiting a tragedy about to unfold. The Cape buffalo herd had traveled dozens of kilometers through arid lands, where red dust clung to their thick hides, and the heat from the ground was scorching. Behind them lay the exhaustion of thirst, and ahead lay the Mara River, their only source of life, but also their most terrifying death trap. The entire herd gathered on the riverbank, their enormous heads bowed, their noses sniffing for danger. From the buffalo's perspective, the river completely obscured what lay beneath its muddy surface. They knew something awaited them, but thirst had pushed them to their limits. In Masai Mara, water is never free. It always demands a price. A price paid in lives. The buffaloes stand there, restless and anxious, their hooves pounding the dry ground, kicking up clouds of dust, a fierce internal struggle between survival instinct and overwhelming fear of the deadly river. Deep beneath the surface, enormous bodies, over 5 meters long, lie motionless, like rotting logs covered in mud. Nile crocodiles, ancient predators, never waste their energy on pointless chases. They understand the rules of the savannah. The river will force its prey to choose. Their eyes are half closed, unblinking, locked onto the legs, standing at the water's edge. The crocodile's positions form a deadly corridor, a labyrinth with no escape once the prey has ventured too deep. They are cruelly patient, waiting for the moment when their prey is most vulnerable. The melody of death began to creep in as the murky waters seemed to grow heavier under the weight of the hunters, lying in ambush. The tension reached its breaking point when the buffalo herd could wait no longer. No one wanted to be the first to step in, but in thirst and under the pressure of the herd, there was always one individual forced to take the fateful test. A young buffalo, full of energy but inexperienced, took its first steps into the water. Each step sent a gentle splash of water, yet it resonated like a warning bell in the minds of the others. The water rose to its belly, then to its chest. The entire herd on the bank held its breath, hundreds of eyes fixed on the lone individual venturing into the water. The heartbeat of the steps seemed to quicken with each rising centimeter of water, and the silence became more suffocating than ever. The calm surface of the river suddenly exploded. A gigantic crocodile leaped up from the depths with terrifying speed. In a brief moment, the river surface transformed into a brutal battlefield. The violent crashing of water mingled with the agonizing roars of the buffalo. The strongest on land now seemed weak and clumsy in the predator's environment. The crocodile used its entire body weight to drag its prey to the riverbed, performing a terrifying, deadly spin. All calculations, all muscular strength, were meaningless once the killer's jaws locked onto its target. While the river was busy with its newly acquired hunt, a brief, safe space appeared. The lead buffalo made a cruel but necessary decision. It roared, urging the entire herd to plunge into the water a little further away. Taking advantage of the moment when the predators were focused on enjoying their meal of the unfortunate individual, the entire herd of Cape buffalo surged across the river like a black flood. The sound of hooves pounding against the riverbed was deafening. They passed in terror, their eyes fixed on the red water where their brethren were being devoured. The sacrifice of the young buffalo inadvertently became a bloody ticket to a bloody journey for hundreds of others. The herd of buffaloes escaped to the other side of the river, their bodies covered in mud and trembling after the deadly crossing. They did not stop to mourn, for on the savannah, death is a part of life. The lead buffalo continued to move forward into the lush green pastures ahead. The carcass of the unfortunate buffalo was now dragged ashore on a shallow sandbank on the edge of the Mara River. A legion of crocodiles was tearing apart its prey in a bloody feast. But the pungent smell of fresh blood and the chaotic sounds drifted away on the wind, reaching the keen senses of a lion pod patrolling the riverbank. Lions, by nature the absolute rulers of land, were usually wary of rivers. But hunger and the pride of a king wouldn't allow them to pass up a lavish meal that had been prepared. The alpha male lion, with its majestic black mane, emerged from the bushes. It stood on a high rock, its fiery golden eyes looking down at the sandbank where huge rotting logs were enjoying their spoils. A breathtaking confrontation began. The lion roared, a resounding roar, a declaration of power intended to intimidate the aquatic predators. But crocodiles were not hyenas or leopards. Under the water, they were death itself. The lion, provoked by the challenge, began to advance into the shallow water. This was a mad decision. Each step sinking deeper into the mud meant the king lost his agility. The crocodiles began to form a semicircle, not retreating but slowly closing in on the mudflat. A battle ensued between brute strength and claws tearing through the air, and a 1,000-pound jaw and impenetrable armor of scales and horns. The battle erupted. This was no longer a hunt for survival. It was a fight for dignity between two empires. The lion knew that one mistake would drag it to the bottom of the abyss forever. Meanwhile, the crocodile understood that if it failed to hold on to its prey, the river's prestige would crumble. The steppe held its breath, witnessing this extraordinary scene, where the boundary between land and water was blurred by the desire for dominance of two ancient tyrants. The struggle on the Mara River mudflats pushed the tension to its breaking point. The lion roared in fury, but in its gleaming golden eyes, the shrewdness of a seasoned ruler began to emerge. It realized that if it held on to its prey any longer, it would not only lose its meal, but also its life at the bottom of the dark river. In a decisive move, it used all its strength to stomp hard on the muddy bottom, leaping backward. The lion staggered onto a high rock, its body soaked and covered in mud, and stood looking down at the bloody feast that belonged to the swamp predators. The Mara River once again asserted its absolute dominance. The buffalo carcass had now completely disappeared beneath the swirling vortices of the greedy crocodiles. We have just witnessed the terrifying power of the river, an eternal trap that never sleeps, where the line between life and death is as thin as a single misstep. And you, what impressed you most in this deadly river crossing? Leave your comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next wildlife survival series.